Why, hello, all you Days of Our Lives fans. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I'm joined by my usual gaggle of gals. We have...
Michael Mattis. How are you?
I always feel like you guys are still stumped on that. Like, I'll say we have, and it's like, who goes first?
I know who goes first. I guess. Yeah.
And, of course, we have...
Hi, everybody. I'm Araceli Aviles, and I vote we go just clockwise.
Yeah, that works.
Oh,
Yeah.
like it would.
Yeah,
start
just go
with
clockwise.
You?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. See, I mean, it would. Yeah,
It's easy enough.
That's right. Yeah. If you guys haven't noticed yet, we are pre-taping the show because, honey, we busy today. We are booked and blessed, and we got things to do.
A lot.
And during this pre-tape, even Justin is too booked and busy. He at work. He said, "Listen, y'all, I can't even do the pre-tape." I said, "Well, you know what? We just gonna do it without you. Why? Because we still got to give a full dish of what happened this week, this killer week of Days of Our Lives."
Ooh.
But before we do that, just a little reminder: make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are watching us live right now, you see our pretty little faces. Go ahead and click that little subscribe button and that bell notification so that way you will always know when we go live. Also, make sure you follow us on the social media. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. The @ is currently in jail, accused of stabbing Sonny and killing Abigail. Also, make sure you take us along on your journeys, whether you're walking on a treadmill, walking around a park, or even a long car ride and while you're stuck in traffic. Look us up on your favorite podcast stations. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just search. Yeah, that's what you do. Just search Dishin Days, and you'll find us and take us with you in your little pocket. We'll be in your little pocket like, hello, welcome. You are listening to Dishin Days.
We've got something in our pockets.
A pocket full of sunshine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And of course, y'all, guess what? We got merch. So buy it. Go over to dishindays.threadless.com to find all of these wonderful merchandise that we have here. Remember the whole Meliswin vibe where you can have a shirt or mug or something. If you're feeling possessed, go ahead and get that. Or if you're just a lover of Dishin Days and want to serve up a dish, go ahead and check out all of the merchandise we have with the following logos at dishindays.threadless.com. Now, what did we think of this week's episodes of Duel?
Of Duel.
Of the Duel?
I thought it was a pretty solid week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid week, yeah.
It was solid, but then I have a lot of questions.
Me too.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually a really great week too. Until I went, well, this was actually what I did. By midweek, I was like, oh. And then by the end of the week, I was like, So let's break it on down. It is now time to start
Dishin
Dishin
Days. Y'all.
We were waiting on your count, Michael Mattis.
You heard it? Oh, I did count.
You did.
No,
You were like, 1, 2, 3. Dishin Days. You were like a conductor. You were like John Williams. Except he's not.
Oh, I wish. Except he's more he's got talent and
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, you have talent, Michael Mattis.
I have other talents,
to discover it.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to see me at the Hollywood Bowl, though.
Huh? No.
You ain't going to see me at the Hollywood Bowl.
We will see you at the Hollywood Bowl in the stands with a glass of wine.
Yep.
I mean, okay, true.
Yep.
No lies told.
To be fair. All right, so let's kick it off with the big storyline here. We got Chad, Sonny, Clyde, Will, Craig, Leo, Gwen, Nancy, Rafe, Jennifer, and Jack. Let's just get right into it.
So many questions.
The big reveal.
Mm-hmm. Clyde Dunn did it.
Clyde,
or at least, I mean, it looks like Clyde Dunn did it.
Yeah.
I mean,
we know for sure now because Clyde had the flashback that he stabbed Sonny. So the assumption is now that he also is the one that killed Abigail.
Yeah.
But why?
That's
why?
It's just like, and I've heard so many theories about like Ben. Well, why did Ben do it? Well, no, the way that the story was written when Ben was revealed as the necktie killer, actually made so much sense for where the
Mhm.
character was. They had already developed the backstory of his childhood trauma.
Mhm.
They had kind of built up to it without you really noticing, and it was brilliantly done. This just kind of felt like, wait, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't, and you can't even say it was random because she was stabbed in her home, in her bedroom. If she had
Mhm.
died somewhere in the park or something like that, then maybe I could buy that it was random. But there has to be a very specific reason why Clyde
Mhm.
was in that house.
Well, yeah, that's what why was he in the house? How did he get into Abigail's room? What had done happened when he got into Abigail? Like, yeah, there's so many questions now.
Just
It's good to know like who it is, but yeah,
mm-hmm,
now we have to figure out the why. And yeah, my concern is that the why isn't gonna like that it's gonna be reaching a little bit.
mm-hmm.
Like, like it's same thing with oh, Craig did it, and it's like, okay, that's reaching too far.
Yeah.
Like, Craig's not a murderer. He, like I said last week, he's sometimes not as scrupulous as he could be, but he's not a killer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
even Clyde, like we know Clyde has the capacity for
Oh yeah.
violence, absolutely. But we need a solid motive here.
But here's my thing, though. Remember when Chad found her
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and she said they? She
Oh,
said they were they. She said they, as in there were more.
two
It was
people,
more
yeah.
than one person.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't
don't
remember that.
remember that, but
I do because I remember she was laying there and Chad was like, "Who did who did this to you?" And she was like, "They." And I was like, "Who they? Who's they? Who's they? Who is they? They more than one. Was it a robbery gone wrong? Like what was it?"
are we sure that they means more than one?
I
Like,
mean,
I guess. They
See
well,
how
I guess
confused
well,
we
I
are?
guess them.
like
It would
they
be
could be,
them. But then why would she say they instead of like he?
or she, because they
Right.
didn't want to reveal who the killer. They didn't want to reveal anything about the killer's identity, so they had her say they instead of him or
It's
she, him or
I
her.
have
I
so
just
many
need to.
questions.
or are Clyde's pronouns they them, and we just don't know.
And in
Oh
death, she
gosh.
wanted to be politically correct.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, he does wear
Let me tell you
lavender or
something.
vanilla or whatever the fuck he was wearing. Excuse
See,
me.
now that's another question I have.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
Well,
why? Like, do you really see Clyde wearing vanilla scented anything?
Like I assumed that it would have been something weird, like oh he was baking cookies or something like that.
here's also the thing too. When they said I smelled vanilla, I was like, now who from Sweet Bits done came over baked the cake and then
Yeah,
went over there and stabbed Sonny.
that's the
There were
other thing. Yeah.
there was a lot of things, but I think for me, I was just surprised to realize it was Clyde because
Hmm.
I was then trying to run through my head of, okay, why and why in this moment? Like, what is
Mm-hmm.
the bigger picture, especially when you just got out, you just got paroled, you have Nancy, you're supposed to be starting this whole life over again. Like, what is happening? To be honest, I then started going, oh boy, like, is this how they're going to get Clyde out?
Like his
You
exit
know?
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, like, I don't know. I just listen. One thing is for sure, though. I always trust in the writers
mm-hmm.
that there's a reason
Hmm.
why. Because
Yeah.
actually, I tell you this, I would have been really upset if they made it out to be Craig.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
that would have made zero sense.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute
Well,
zero sense. Like the
yeah.
whole revenge thing. No, no,
No, not to that
no,
extent.
Well,
nope.
here's the thing with that though. Like, if the only way that I could have foreseen that happening was that he was enraged and he came back to seek revenge. He saw Leo go into the tunnels and somehow saw him like swooping up into Abigail's room. He went into Abigail's room thinking Leo was in there, but it was
Mhm.
Abigail, and he was like, "Oh boy!" And maybe he tried to get out. There was a tussle, and he accidentally killed her,
Eh,
and then
no.
left, and then started. to maybe plot the revenge that he did it.
See, my
Leo
mind
did
won't
it.
even let me go to any theories because I'm so confused. And honestly, guys, I'm too tired. I do not have the brain capacity this week to try to figure out. So not only am I going to be a fan with open arms, I'm going to be a fan with open eyes. And I'm just like, okay, just take me on this journey.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
I mean,
I'm too
tell me what
tired to
happened.
theorize.
that's how one should always be. But all that to say, I would have been upset because I think they have done enough to the Craig character
Mhm.
that I think the buck should have stopped there. So I'm glad that it wasn't Craig, but I'm confused
Yeah.
as to what motive Clyde had.
Mm-hmm.
I also would like to know what is the product that he is using that makes him smell like vanilla.
Like vanilla.
It's just
I
a very
honestly
distinct
think,
smell.
I don't think it was, I'm kind of leaning towards it wasn't premeditated. Like, he
Right,
didn't go to the house to kill Abigail. He went to the house, kind of like you were describing with Craig. Like, he found his way. He went to the house for a reason we don't know yet. Could have had to do with EJ because, he and EJ had their
Mm-hmm.
thing. And it's EJ's house. Um, I think it's EJ's house now, right? Or it was. I don't
Yes.
remember.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Yes, it
that's where
is.
yeah,
EJ lived. So he went to the house for a reason we don't know yet. And maybe he happened upon Abigail's room, or there's, something like that. I don't think he went to the house to kill Abigail.
right.
Yeah, there's got to be something. Yeah, there's something we're missing here. There's something.
Mhm.
I'm hoping it's something that was going on with Abigail that we as the audience were never made aware of before she died.
Yeah.
Because she was investigating what was she investigating? What
She
was she
was
going after? She
she
was
was
going after
investigating
the
who
Sammy's
kidnapped Sammy,
kidnapping. Right. Got it. Okay.
but
But Clyde had nothing to do with that.
no.
So,
I don't know.
The
It's
only
it's
crime, here's the thing, the only crime that she could have stumbled upon, the only one that I could possibly think of is that Clyde murdered or ordered the hit on EJ back in the day.
didn't Chad tell her that?
But no, that was not revealed until after Abigail died.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to
So
remember how everything,
because
the order and everything
that was a
happened.
crime that he was not charged for because
Mm-hmm.
nobody knew that except EJ, and then EJ confided in Belle, and that was where the buck stopped until after Abigail died, and only then did EJ point the finger at Clyde as a
Oh, right,
possible
because then Chad
suspect.
got right. You're right. You're right. Now it's all coming back.
Yes, so that
Hmm.
would explain. So that could possibly
Yeah.
be a reason.
Hmm.
I don't know.
It's yes, it's like make it make sense for us because we're getting
Yeah.
a headache trying to figure it out.
Well, as of right now, that's who done did it, and of course,
And I'm still getting a headache trying to figure out what man wears very specific scented vanilla cologne.
Yeah.
right.
Why vanilla? Why couldn't it have just been
It's
like,
just like a very distinct smell.
You know what? Here's the only thing is that they said vanilla because they wanted to point the finger like it was Craig,
Yeah,
right? Because it only makes sense if Craig wore something
yeah.
a little
vanilla
zhuzhy.
like? Yeah.
It's
Juji.
just
Yeah.
very distinct.
Because then there was also that moment that Craig had with Leo in jail, where
Mhm.
Leo gave his theory as to who he thought the killer was, and to be honest, I actually thought it was Craig because then all
Me,
of a sudden he went and like yanked
He
him,
did get
I
aggressive.
was
He did get
yeah.
aggressive, and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh no,
and
don't
and I
stop!"
was like, oh boy, he did do it, and then all of a sudden when Chad was talking to Nancy as she's
Mhm.
like very happy about her wedding to Clyde. It's then revealed like Craig, he doesn't, not that I know of, but Clyde wears it. I thought it was a little feminine, and then all of a sudden Chad is like,
Oh,
and then remembers when he hugged Craig, Clyde was
Clyde was right
standing
there.
there.
Hmm.
And I was just like, oh my goodness. But you know what? I have to because I don't give him enough credit. seeing the way Chad reacted as he put the
Yeah.
pieces of the puzzle together and how he quickly became this conflicted person of like, I can't believe I just figured it out.
Yeah.
That's who it is. It was him all along. What, like, the way that Billy Flynn played that,
Hmm.
Mhm.
I was like almost in tears. And I don't know if it's also because Mercury's in retrograde, but I
Six
was like,
planets are in retrograde, not just Mercury. Six planets are in retrograde.
no
So things
wonder,
are,
no wonder I'm
yeah.
all discombobulated. Like, I don't know what is happening. But um, the way he played that, I was just like, and even when he got to the hospital and he was talking to Will, and you could just you could just sense so many emotions were happening
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
him that he didn't know what to do. But did I tell you this? By Friday, he knew what to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He went
I
straight
got
over
I
to
got
that.
frustrated. I got frustrated with Will and Chad and how they were like pestering Sonny. I was like, the man's in the hospital. The man is trying to remember, and they were like, "Who was it? Who was it?" I would have been like,
I
you know
don't.
what? You're not getting an answer.
I wasn't annoyed with
You
that.
petty
I
bitch.
was more concerned.
I'd be like,
I was actually more concerned with that because I was said I was thinking in my head before they walked in the room, don't say Clyde, don't say Clyde, because if they ever got him in front of a detective or a lawyer could argue the power of suggestion.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
We don't talk about Clyde. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
But they did today.
Yeah. I mean, there's other evidence now. Thank you, Jada, the one
Hmm.
competent
Yep.
person.
Paying attention
She
to the timestamp.
broke this case wide open. Thank you.
Right? She was like, this footage was examined before I got here, but
Mhm.
I done looked at it again. Look at that. I'm like, poor Salem PD.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can't
Thank
Do
nobody
you
you
get
for
it
remember?
right.
this brilliant
Do you
highlight.
remember? Do you remember they did that in Speed to fool the bomber?
Oh
They like
yes,
remember that, and he
yeah.
noticed it. He noticed like the little flicker. I was
Like,
like,
cause
this is like what happened in Speed.
the lady like moved her
Purse.
hands, her purse. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Smart lady.
Hmm.
Smart lady helping Salem PD solve the crime. Um, yeah, this is that. Yeah, that was okay. I do have to ask this because like I feel like I wasn't as excited. How before it was revealed that Clyde was the murderer?
Mhm.
How did we feel about Nancy and Clyde?
I didn't. I Okay. Here's my thing. I didn't like that. I liked them together. Does that make
Yeah.
You
sense?
did?
I did. Like I was like,
Same.
damn, they like are cute together and they have chemistry. But I didn't want that because Clyde's such a d bag.
We so badly want a win for Nancy, and that's
That too.
the issue.
Yeah.
We so badly want the win for Nancy. And even now, knowing that Clyde is a murderer and is setting and is going around and causing all this trouble, even now there's a part of me that wants to believe that he genuinely loves Nancy, that this is
You
not
know,
some ploy.
I okay, so I am right now in this moment, I do believe that his feelings for Nancy are genuine.
Okay. I
Because
mean, I hope
I
so.
don't see why I don't understand why he like what would be, and maybe this is something else to be revealed, but why would he be faking that?
But here's what I think the problem is. Nancy and Clyde were one of those couples that weren't established well enough for us to be like, oh, because I feel like even early on, he was still kind of doing some Clyde like things,
Hmm.
like with the hot jewels and and all that kind of stuff. That for me, it didn't allow me to go, yeah, Nancy, you should get with that ex-con. He all right. I was kind of like I was somewhere in between Nancy and Chloe, where I
Hmm.
I was skeptical like Chloe, but I wanted it for Nancy, and a lot of things just kind of progressed so fast, even them moving in together and like,
Ugh.
and all that. Like there were things about it that progressed so fast that didn't allow me as an audience to really want to root for Nancy and Clyde. The
Mhm.
only thing that kept me was that she was so happy.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I was like, girl, your man done killed. You about to be alone.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, that was just, Um, and then last but not least, Jennifer Jack Gwen.
Mhm.
I don't know why every time Gwen comes over to the house, like I feel like stuff just blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's tension a lot
Yeah.
of times. But she's the one that discovered uh, the pills behind Abigail's photo
Mhm.
and kind of questioned Jennifer. I do appreciate the writers reminding us that Gwen did a thorough check thorough check on the Devereaux because
Yeah.
she wanted to know every single thing. But I really did feel like in that moment she cared for Jennifer.
Yes.
She was like, but even when she said, "No, I don't know what you're going through," I thought she was kind of being sarcastic when she said that because I was like, "You had a miscarriage." So while it wasn't a full grown baby, you do understand what it's like to lose a child,
To
not to
lose,
the
have that
extent,
loss. Yeah.
yeah, not to the
Yeah.
extent
But
of
yeah,
Jennifer,
yes.
but
But yeah, no. The when you lose a child, anybody who has lost a child, even a miscarriage, is very, very careful. Um, even amongst women with each other are very careful not to cross that line to do any compare contrast,
right,
because you don't know, because especially if if a mother has been through the grieving process so recently. I can tell you, amongst women, we never do we don't do the compare contrast thing, because you just have to be so careful about that.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Um, but it was good just to see Gwen care,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
now,
believe it's genuine too. I don't believe she's, I believe she's making an effort, at least with Jennifer, to like try to keep peace, or try to, keep it, do what she can to like mend fences, so to speak.
yeah,
And this
yeah,
is the one instance. It's like, if it had been any other issue, I don't think that Gwen would have been able to speak to it so well. But
Mhm.
because she has her own history with her own mother's
With the mom,
addiction,
yeah.
she's like, well, that she can speak to. That she does know what that's been like, because she knows, she lived with it for years. She knows exactly what it feels like when somebody is hiding it. She knows all the tricks. She knows the denials. She knows what it looks like. And I know that she does not want that in her dad's life. She wants
yeah,
Jennifer to be healthy. She doesn't want
Mhm.
Jack to blame himself. Um, and Jack wouldn't know the signs, because remember that Jennifer's addiction popped up when Jack died.
Mm.
So
Yeah, so he wasn't around.
Jack wouldn't know the signs. He knows that she is a recovering addict, but
He
he
didn't
would have
experience it the first time,
he didn't
so yeah.
experience it. He would have no clue what it looks like.
Hmm. True.
mm,
Katie was great in those scenes with Gwen, especially when she,
Fantastic.
I was like, oh man, so good.
Yeah. But
Emmy,
even
Emmy,
just
Emmy, Emmy.
the subtle way that she was taught, those scenes with her and Matthew were just phenomenal. When she has her back turned to him, and when she hugs him and she's like wincing, like
Hmm.
you can see the pain in her face, like she's building herself up, trying to fake that smile, trying to like just be as genuine. She's really walking that line of being as genuine as possible, and seeping the lie underneath it. And that's what good liars do, is that they hide the lie in that grain of truth.
Hmm.
Yes, she's emotional. Yes, she misses Abigail. And then she's just as she purposely hugs him, not an embrace. It's, I'm trying to hide something from
Hmm.
you.
Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
Mm.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
yeah.
just this.
But
Yeah.
see, but even with that, like you understand Jennifer's like grief, right? Like it,
Mhm.
like even that didn't come out of nowhere. Like
Uh-uh.
I feel like we've seen her kind of try to be okay, but like she's not okay, and
Mm-mm.
she's trying to push through, but she's not, and now she's like reverted. Like I mean, this is such a tragedy that yeah, it could revert you back to you know old habits. You
Hmm.
know, so like
Relapse, yeah.
all of the yeah, so all of this is doesn't seem forced. It seems very understood. You
Oh
know.
yeah.
But it's the fact that, I'm not mad at anybody for not noticing that Jennifer's addiction has returned, because people see what they want to see. They don't want to believe that somebody could backslide that badly. Um, but it's just kind of like, it's ironic that Gwen would be the one to figure it out so quickly. She just knew immediately. The signs were there. And but I think Gwen saw it before she saw the pills, because Gwen said, she walked into that room and she could see that Jennifer was trying so hard to be okay, and she wasn't. And
Right.
it's the same way that we're like Chad was trying for the longest time to pretend that he was okay when he wasn't. And
Hmm.
people reached out to him and said, you need to calm down. You need help. You need to go to therapy. You need to accept help with the kids, all these things. And people need to start saying the same thing for Jennifer.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, all right. Well, that's it with that storyline. Let's move on to our fave Brady, Chloe, Kristen, Belle, John, Roman, and Kate.
This mess of a trial that's not a trial, but
This
is a trial.
actually, but this actually was my one of my favorite storylines this week. It was because it weaved in. It wasn't just the whole Brady, Chloe, Kristen triangle that we're so used to. Other people were brought in. We got the reminder that Philip has been gone for about a year now.
Hmm.
So there was so much layered into this trial. It wasn't just the trial itself this week. It was the Philip factor in it. It was all about Rachel's well-being, and there was the Marlena factor into it. So you had a lot of things going on at once.
Hmm. Agreed.
This trial was just so icky to me because
Oh yeah.
just watching Kristen, like,
Messy.
it
Yeah,
was so
it was.
messy. And it's like, but girl, you're no saint.
No, and
And,
she was acting so sanctimonious and so
Oh my
preachy,
god.
and you're just like you almost are just like, no,
and it's
don't.
also like, you have to give credit. It dawned on me just now. It's almost like you're doing this just because, like Brady said, you do want to win.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's also a way to maybe cause hurt to
Hmm.
Brady
Oh yeah.
because he's hurting you because he's with Chloe.
That's exactly what it is.
But
Yeah,
I just wish that what she would, and we saw a bit of human in her when she
and she
said,
found
"I'm
out
so
about Marlena.
sorry
Yeah,
about Marlena,"
but it's like
but it's
too
like,
little, too late.
but
It comes off hollow.
but it's also go with that feeling, recognize that you have been through a lot, and who held it down for you, Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Who made sure that Rachel didn't know the stuff that you had done, and why you were in prison and all, like,
Yeah.
who shielded this girl in such a way to still make her look at her mom and still love her and appreciate her and want to be around her.
And
And
but
then you come back and want to show Brady in such a negative light
and
because he's
Brady
with Chloe and not
And
you.
Brady hit the head, and Brady hit the nail on the head at the end of the trial. He said when he walked out on Kristen, he said, it wasn't just about revenge anymore. It wasn't just about Chloe anymore, because he hit the nail on the head when he told Kristen, "Look at the way that you're talking about Rachel. Have you said her name? You keep
Proper, yeah.
saying my daughter as if she's your property, as if because." She is your child, that she came from you, that you get to own her like a
Mhm.
possession for the rest of her life and lord her over Brady. It's not. Rachel is her own little person. She's not even a baby anymore. She's her
Right.
own little girl with her
Mhm.
own opinions, her own thoughts that you are trying to manipulate and control.
Yeah.
It's just it was just kind of like, Kristen, girl, come on. And I
And
was
in
also,
these situations, you want to be like, if you play nice, like
but everyone wins. Like
everyone win. Exactly.
Brady
Brady would
wouldn't have
be
went for
more
full
lenient.
custody. Brady, you guys would have shared custody with Rachel, and
Yeah.
Brady
Right.
would have
And
been
like
fine with that.
and to Araceli's point about what Brady said, it was about winning. It was about,
Mhm.
you know, she's mine. She's mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And but it's in true Kristen form not to be able to let that go, and to be even, when she was clearly shooketh when John, of course. And then I was like, John's not doing anyone any favors here. Like,
no,
I'm
But
because
like,
he's
the chaos
but
was
he's
not as
sitting
bad as I
there,
thought it would be.
but it it broke my heart to see him sitting there and Belle asking him that question,
the single tear.
and his mind was somewhere else, and that tear felt real.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it didn't feel forced. It literally
Mm-mm.
felt like Drake Hoganson went to a place and started really thinking about everything, and the camera just captured a Lisa Rinna single tear moment. And like, and the way it fell and the way he caught it, and was just like, I was like, my heart felt for him in
No.
that moment. Um, and then when he was trying to really be present and really be there for Brady, but of course, Kristen had to. Well, where's Marlena? Well, why isn't she here?
Yeah.
Shouldn't she be here? If and then when he stood up and said, "Because she could be dying, you miserable bitch," I said, "Oh, yes."
Like I
And
said,
then
that's what, and even Kristen, like at that moment, like she looked,
she looked
yeah,
like, yeah, I think I've gone too far. But
but
John
even
didn't
then, she
stop
was,
there.
yeah,
When they all was go about to go to the hospital, and Kristen was like, Brady, wait. And then he was like, let me take care of it. I'll and then John was like, punch her in the face.
yeah. So I don't punch her in the face. I was like, oh, that's. I don't know. I chuckled a little bit, but then I was like, I don't know.
I don't disagree
Is
entirely.
John Black like, okay? It's Kristen. Okay, fine. Granted, it's Kristen. 20, 30 years of making
Just
life
a lot.
miserable, but there is no way. Like John Black talking about punching a woman in the face.
I mean,
I
I'd give
was
her a
like,
good shove, but
We're
I,
talking
it,
about
it,
Kristen.
it, I know
No,
we're
we
talking
don't
about Kristen.
condone violence against women. However, like I,
comma.
I, I think I think there are certain people that you'll be like,
Yeah. Yeah, look. There
I
are
know.
people
It just
that you
didn't.
don't like. You wouldn't not like. Would you directly punch them in the face? Probably not. Would you like Marlena style push them out a window if you had the chance? Probably. When nobody was
Damn.
looking.
oh, there's that.
Well, if somebody, I'm just thinking like Tony said, the person who caused you like 20, 30 years of trauma.
Yeah,
Like not some random person on the street, but
right.
yeah.
Um, I do commend Chloe for her love for Brady and really trying to
Hero of the week.
support him and
Yeah.
like be there for him, and was kind of like, Judge, God, don't
She got lucky though.
Yeah.
take this. Look at that. That'll help with your decision.
She
I
did
was,
that, and then she went to her Kate, who favorite person,
Kate,
to ask that
Kate,
favor.
when Kate does this,
Oh man. Okay, I think Roman got all high and mighty, and I was like, you can just sit this one out. Just
I
no.
don't think he got so. I mean, I don't think he got so high and mighty. I think that he made a good point of saying, There's a difference between protecting a grown man and protecting a little girl. And he made the good point of saying, look, I get it. I, of all people, get it. I have Sammy.
Like, I have Sammy. I know that was funny.
Sammy. No one in the world understands how to the concept of wanting to discipline your grown child more than I do.
Or protect your child at
Yes.
all costs. But I'm actually kind of glad that he didn't have to go in there and reveal, and I'm glad that when Kate called, she didn't have to say, "Hey, we about to tell folks where you at." But I feel like there was, in true Days fashion, I feel like there was a reason for that. It's like, we're going to put a pin in this because this is going to come back round at some point.
What I say last week, the only way that would make sense, because yes, it's been about a year since Philip pulled that stunt. And he has, as we just found out with Kate's call to him, he is still in deep therapy, which I'm impressed by, which is a good thing. But we knew he was completely off the rails, and hopefully this is an indicator that he might be coming back, but that he'll come back healthy.
Yeah.
Well, Brady got full custody. Bill done filled out the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So here we are.
Yeah. Which again backfired on Kristen, because again, she would have still had shared custody. She still would have had partial custody had she just left things alone. But now she doesn't even have the right to visitation.
Now she got zero. She got goose egg.
She can't talk about Rachel. No.
What are these? I don't recognize.
You mean to tell me that you have not once in life heard the song by Encanto? We don't talk about Bruno. You know what? It's fine, Michael Madness. We can.
No. It's
not. You forget. I can put myself back in. I have admin controls. I can do this,
and I can do that.
My brain. God.
Magic.
God.
What's the issue?
Okay, putting aside the fact that I'm a Latina and Encanto is like up there with Coco in my basic levels of pride, and it's Hispanic Pride Month.
The fact that Michael Madness has never heard We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Michael Madness, who works in the entertainment industry, you live in LA, you cover these shows. You listen to the same radio stations I do. You mean to tell me you have never heard We Don't Talk About Bruno?
Not that I remember.
Oh.
Okay.
You know what? We don't talk about Michael Madness. How about that? Okay, we're just going to move on.
I'm still coming to the chat room tomorrow live when this airs, because I guarantee you the chat room is going to explode the same way my brain is right now.
Okay.
And
that's
not
like
a care.
Having never heard
this is Michael Madness.
The Lion King.
Sorry, I haven't intentionally not heard it. If that makes you feel any better.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
We are going to move on from that and that shocker, and we're just going to pray about it. And I will send Michael Madness the link to We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Thank you.
But now moving on to We Don't Want to Talk About Orpheus.
Lovely.
We've got John, Marlena, Steve, Caleb, Roman, and Kate. I still can't believe that this whole thing is because Rebecca died 40 plus years ago.
Yeah, they're reaching with this one.
Hold grudges. I'm going to hold a grudge to Michael Madness for a really long time for this one.
Let me tell you, I can hold grudges too, right? I really can. I can hold grudges. But I think at some point I would turn to Elsa and let it go. I really wanted. It's okay. Here's the thing. I get it, because you will never get over losing the love of your life, especially in the way that Orpheus lost Rebecca, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, at what point do you ask yourself, where has this gotten me these past few decades?
At the same time, you're asking Orpheus to think rationally, and
Listen, if you can drum up a poison to slowly kill off three women, and that's the other thing too, three women for the price of one. And Kate and Roman are just dating. Can you imagine? Can you imagine dating someone like just like getting with them, and then somebody comes and poisons you to revenge on them? You're like, what?
This is the point where I put on my therapist hat and say, you're trying to rationalize the irrational.
yeah,
I will
yeah. There's no
say,
rationalizing this. It's just straight up revenge.
yeah, I will say though, it's interesting because I feel like these are like the three. All the women in Salem are strong, but these are like the strong women
Hmm.
Mhm.
of Salem. You know, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this storyline plays out because we've already seen like clips in the preview, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because we've already seen the effects of it. With John, and how he was in the courtroom with Kate being like, listen, boo, I ain't about to sit up here and have them trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm just, they don't know. I'm just sitting here, little beep, beep. No, I'm not trying. I'd rather be at the house,
Hmm.
minding my business, not bothering nobody, not hooked up to no machines, not people in and out of my room talking about what's going on, what's this. I want to be at the house
That
with
makes
you.
sense, though.
Yeah.
That to me made a lot of sense. That to me was not irrational or stubborn. That made sense. Hospitals are uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are
Well, like you said,
extremely
if she's
uncomfortable.
doesn't have much time left, why spend it in the hospital?
No, yeah. Especially while she's it seems like she's relatively feeling good. She's not at
Hmm.
100%, but she's not laid up quite like Marlena is. And she's like, if I'm going to do what I want to do, I'm going to eat what I want to eat and do what I want to do while I can.
Yeah.
Um.
Because she's also, that's the other thing, she's not a doctor, she's not in the ISA. She's like, if she could be doing something to help herself in any other way, she would be like Kayla is, but she can't, so she's not.
Um. Oh man, I was gonna say something, but I totally forgot. Anyway, um, that's it about this storyline. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, what? I
That's
mean,
it. There was no movement. Yeah.
no,
And
it
then
was just kind of
Steve
like,
was threatening to stab him with a pen.
Yeah.
wait,
Steve
I'm
being
so.
a
I
dumb dumb
forgot
again.
about that whole scene. Let me tell
Hmm.
you, I chuckled right at the beginning of that episode because Orpheus was just like, well, 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 here we are, Salem's Justin League finally sent someone
Justice League.
over, and it looks like Cyclops got the short end of the stick. I holler. I was like, shady, big shade, Orpheus. I love it. I love a good shade moment. And that was shady.
Yeah.
And then the whole pin thing, I wanted to be like, Steve, just do it. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Just do it. Yeah. I
Just,
like how Sean ran in and was like, "What are you doing?" but made no effort to stop him.
again, you know what that is? I didn't see nothing.
Didn't see nothing. Don't
Um,
know nothing.
so yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that gets played out. But
Hmm.
in the meantime, those were our top storylines, and we're going to move over to our tidbits. But before we do, just a quick reminder, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, follow us on all social media platforms. They are located down there at the bottom. And also, check us out on our podcast stations: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio Professional. And also, make sure you buy our merch, dishindays.threadless.com. All right, moving on to some tidbits, which are storylines that gave us just a tish of information, but not too much. Oh,
Oops.
Alex, Sonny, and Stephanie.
Oops.
Okay, clarify this. Help me understand. There was a company. Sonny was about to have it,
Uh-huh.
but Alex snatched it up from him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The way that this was explained was that in negotiations with Sonny, the people that were selling the company to Sonny were overinflating the value of the company and trying to, he was going to buy it for way more than what it was worth.
Got it.
Alex found that out, called them on it, and bought the company for the value that it actually was.
Okay. And then sold it to Titan.
And then sold it to Titan so that they wouldn't lose a profit.
So he was really doing it for Titan.
Yes.
Sonny, why you mad?
Because it wasn't because he Alex, trumped him kind of.
Yes,
a little bit.
He didn't get the chance. Mind you, Sonny did not really give Alex the chance to explain the whole thing. We got that explanation between a conversation with Alex and Victor. Victor recognized what he did and why he did it, and that's why he wanted Alex in the company and why he wanted him to be interim CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Alex does not, but because Sonny can't mind. Sonny has been in constant fight mode, and
he's a hothead. He just explodes,
and he can't wrap his mind around the idea that Alex doesn't want to be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's only been dealing with people who want to be in charge. And Victor does the same thing that Stefano did with all of his children, and that's why Demara's such a mess, is that pitting all of the kids and the heirs against each other. He can't grasp the concept that that's not Alex, that for the first time we have a competent businessman who has no desire to be at the top of the heap. That's not, his ego is big, but it's not big in that sense. He just wants to get the job done the best way that he can.
Right. Which he did. So I'm just, again, I'm like, Sonny, why you mad?
Yeah. Sonny just explodes and I just feel like Sonny's been, for a while, like you said, just overreacting. Well, or in fight, like you said, in fight mode, just like, yeah.
Him, Sarah, and Eric should talk more.
Overreactions Anonymous?
Mm-hmm.
That was a big theme this week, now that you mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of overreacting.
The Sonny, Clyde, what's his name? Alex, led to my least favorite moment of the week, which, can you guess what it was?
I know, yes. Yep, I know exactly. Shall I say what it was?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alex exits Sonny's room with said pony and balloons. As Alex is heading towards the elevator, Clyde exits the elevator, running into the balloons, and Clyde mentioning something to the effect of,
he says, "Look out, son.
Look out, son." To which Alice goes, "I'm not your son." To which, in that moment, I said to myself, Michael Mattis is furious.
How long has Rob been playing Alex? Like, at least a month, probably more, since like mid-July. So 2 months now. 2 months. We didn't need it in the beginning. We don't need it now. We don't need a reminder that he's playing someone. No, stop it. It's so fucking annoying. Like, and I heard that and I was like, are we like, no more. No more. Rob's Alex. Like, just.
Fans, how about
you? And there's my overreaction. And there's my Sonny moment for the show.
There's your Sonny moment. But fans, you tell us how you felt about that moment. I'm curious to hear the thoughts of everyone else. Do y'all like moments, like little nods, moments like that? Or are you siding with Michael Mattis where you're just like, it's annoying?
It's annoying, and it's we're 2 months in.
2 months. 2 months. We didn't need it then. We don't need it now.
Don't need it then? Exactly.
Well, I tell you what we don't need now. Sarah and her going off.
I want an explanation for this. There needs to be a reason for that. That can't just be a blip on the radar. Like that reaction last week and then her being convinced to flip again and go. I'm like, I need an explanation. Either this is
I'll tell
leading
you what the
to,
reason was. I
What's
can
the
tell you what
reason?
the reason was.
What's the reason, Araceli?
Eric and
and the
Nicole.
reason is you. Oh,
Eric and Nicole. If Xander had done this to anybody else, I don't think her reaction would have been as strong. But
the fact
she
that she had that reaction to begin
literally
with,
came
regardless
to
of who it was, though,
I mean, she came to Xander and Nicole practically in tears, like, "Oh my god, like he ruined your marriage." Like, I think it's the Eric of it all. I think she always has a soft spot for Eric. I think she is the kind of person that still kind of feels residual guilt for keeping Mickey away from Eric. She never told when she kept the pregnancy from Eric way back
I
when. I think
guess I
yeah.
don't know.
Do
There's got to be more to it.
I don't again, I don't think it's rational, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
reason.
Listen, I was with you because I was reminded of when she was little Sarah, how she thought she was going to marry Eric Brady. So I was with you until I wasn't, and I just think that that moment, honestly, was just a way to play up the Eric and Nicole storyline, and not necessarily Sarah and Xander. If I'm being honest, I think that's just what it was. And listen, throughout this whole thing, I was Maggie, just kind of being like, "Well, Sarah, honey, you just want to throw away your marriage? Oh, I'm
I was very impressed. That was such a savvy move on Maggie's part. Well done.
hmm And then, of course, Xander went and got the advice of Jack, which I
Mm-hmm.
still love their friendship. Their friendship is
Mm-hmm.
really good. But now we're back,
Mm-hmm.
and all is fine. Hopefully, we can
Back
progress
to
Done.
regularly
forward.
scheduled programming, yeah. But I
Yes.
It's
still
fine.
want and I'm wondering if it's leading to a story about with Sarah that her mind's not right. Like she got a lot of crap pumped into her, like all these serums and antidotes and more of the serum and another antidote and blah blah blah. It's there's got to be something there. Then I will
Um,
accept me what she did last week, that
yeah.
reaction, and
I
not simply that it's that she has a soft spot for Eric and that she, it was because it was them and not like another random couple that he did
I
that to.
100% feel like it was just to drive the Eric Nicole story. That's it.
Okay.
Fine with that.
I am hereby
Yeah.
stripping you of all of your princess points.
Yeah, that's I 100% feel like that's what that was. Moving on, we have Eric, Jada, and
Speaking of them,
Nicole. I just feel like I'm Team Jada. The way Jada handled that situation by calling Nicole out, I'm here for it
hmm
because it's like,
Jada pulls
girl,
no punches. Like Jada's
yeah,
not trying to make friends here.
No.
listen, she's
No.
trying to be friendly, but she's also looking at her like, you're in my business.
hmm
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He looks at
Tend to your
Nicole for
own
what
garden and get out of mine. Continue growing your tomatoes. I'm over here doing avocados. Like that's the lane we in, honey, boo boo child. Like
yeah.
that's it. But then, like the whole confessing of you had a sex dream about me.
Yeah.
Y'all
It
have been
wasn't,
through.
it wasn't about sloppy joes.
My thing is this: they have had way too many chances to rectify that relationship. They
hmm
both chose to move on.
hmm
I'm good. Let them be friends and let them move on. I guess in this point I don't need the typical soap thing of, well, let's have them be the end goal again. No, they don't have to be the end goal because I realized back then y'all couldn't think of this in the future, but Eric blew up and everything was because he, like I said last week, was because he chose to
Mm-hmm.
go to the African village
Mm-hmm.
after he got married.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Jada is the way that he.
Yeah. Look, Jada's a grown woman. I've said this before. Jada's a grown woman. She's
I had to
talking to
take a
Nicole.
moment for Greg Vaughn
Yeah.
because the way he walked in with that t-shirt and that vest,
That vest.
and the
Panties
look that
drop.
he had.
That vest. Guys, when did I'm seeing like so many like the vests and then the
Vestices.
crop tops, and I'm like, why are these clothes coming back?
Crop tops I'm not okay with. The vest thing I'm okay with.
I mean,
Listen,
okay with, but I'm just like, why?
I don't care what it was. When he walked in and saw Jada and the look on his face of pleasantry and surprise and
Aw.
lust and this is my baby. I thought he
My
was looking at
baby.
me. I thought he was looking.
You keep thinking that.
When you're
Love that for
genuinely
you.
just like somebody just genuinely brings a smile to your face.
Yes, and so I think personally, like I'm sorry, Eric and Nicole fans. I know that you guys are rooting for Eric and Nicole, and it's no tea, no shade. I just kind of feel like there were moments to bring them back together,
Hmm.
and I I feel like this is more forced than anything,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does
and
feel
it
very forced.
and it makes Nicole look thirsty more
Hmm.
so rather than Eric.
And just messy, and
Yeah,
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 and yeah, I don't like
and
this
jealous
Nicole.
of this woman. It's
Hmm.
like as
Insecure.
as everyone keeps pointing out, you married Rafe. And look at how that their relationship developed. But Duke the bear. Well, here's a bear for you. Well, we can have shared custody of the bear. You can keep the bear sometimes, and I keep the bear sometimes. Like you
Somebody
guys
needs
went
to
through all
clarify with
that.
me. Please verify with me that this bear is still decapitated.
Probably.
I don't want a replacement bear.
Thank you, Ava.
Thank you for that. I appreciated that greatly. That
Hmm.
bear had to go.
A lot of people did.
That bear, like that, this relationship needs to go the way of that bear.
Hmm.
Just chop it off.
Hmm.
Anyway, Team Jada.
Yes,
Are y'all Team Jada too?
I am
Jada,
definitely
all
for
the way.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Last but not least, EJ, Steph, and Gabby. I don't like this plan. I'm just going to say that. I don't like this plan of all of a sudden Stefan is alive. We're reinstating to get his shares back so that you've been dead for 4 years.
Hmm.
Please don't come back trying to run a company.
Yeah,
You've been dead
it's ill
for
advised.
4 years.
Hmm.
Sir, sir, go sit down in the Demera living room, play a game of chess, and stay out of Demera Enterprises.
I think
Go have some lunches with Tony and Anna. Some boozy
Stefan
lunches.
Stefan is safer in that building than he is in the Demera house. Because you know EJ's not about to share anything with anyone.
Gabby's
You don't
been
think
running
he's
that
going to?
company just fine. Let that gal run that company
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
be
can we
okay.
talk? Yeah, can we just comment for 1 second on the fact that basically for the last 4 years, Gabby has had control of the company for most of the last 4 years, save
Hmm.
for a few hiccups, and she's been doing just fine.
Yeah. Yep. There's no reason to get her out, but except for spite.
Because God knows, a woman in power just, oh, the gall of it. The gall of it.
Again, dear Stefan, you have been dead for 4 years since Dishin Days.
Mhm.
Anywho, well, that has been your week of days. And now we're going to go into our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! All right, now listen, y'all know I loves a good shade fest, right? And Wednesday, September 21st, 2022's episode gave me all the shade that I needed. So, my 3 snaps goes to Orpheus, John, and Chloe. For Orpheus looking at Steve and saying that the Salem Justice League has finally sent a representative and it looks like Cyclops drew the shortest stick. For John being like, punch her in the face. And for Chloe looking at Kristen and being like, oh, you want to talk to me about stalking the person who grabbed a wig and some teeth and impersonated Susan Banks? Really? Loved all of it. So, Orpheus, John, Chloe, George, Drake, Nadia, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! All right. And now it's time for Caption That.
All right, this week's Caption That Photo comes courtesy of Paul, Xander, and Matthew Jax. Xander and Jax, little scene this week, and this week's caption goes to. Hold, please. There we go. Piece of America 1 on Twitter with his caption, Jack, my friend, you have ESBB, early stage beer belly. But don't worry, I have a Xander-sized workout on VHS for you.
Oh my god!
It was that was a long one, but I was like, "That's funny. That's funny, and I love it."
Of it all,
and I love a good VHS reference. You know,
right?
Jane Fonda, sweating to the '80s,
Jazzercise,
Jazzercise, Prancercise.
And now I feel like Salem needs a comedy club.
That could have been Club TBD.
Club TBD. Paul Telfer also put his hat in the ring for caption that with his caption, I have something very, very important to ask you. Jack, are you ticklish? So thank you, Paul Telfer, for always being down to contribute. Because I feel like he's regular whenever he's featured in one. He always, throws one in there.
I love that. I love that. You got to love the cast. And that has been Caption That. Now, because Justin isn't here, we do not have a Those Were the Days. So we're just going to go on to It's a Gift.
And this week's It's a Gift goes to Craig Wesley with a comment of the week for anyone who has ever been in a situation where someone you just met wants to psychoanalyze your life.
Ekumi, have we met?
Did you know me?
I don't know you that way.
And that has been It's a Gift. And now it's time for some news and gossip.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, wait, I forgot. News and gossip.
News and gossip. Okay. Quick rundown this week. Congratulations are in order to the lovely Allison Sweeney, who just signed a multi-picture deal with Hallmark to star in and produce her own original movies. And her first project will be called Magical Christmas Village. It's
that time of year.
Yes, that time of year. I mean, they pretty much produce the Christmas movies all year round. The premieres in the fall, and it co-stars Luke McFarlane and Marlo Thomas. That's a get.
Isn't Luke McFarlane? Isn't he the guy in Bros?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is a get
He's
for her.
He's homosexual.
Go see Bros.
And go see Bros.
Go see Bros. Go see Bros. Go see this movie when it comes out on TV, and then go see Bros as well.
I like how Hallmark is like trying to lock people down because there's now a competing. I can't remember what it's called, but they're like I think Jen Lilly went over to them.
Jen Lilly's
there. Jonathan Bennett is over there.
Yeah.
So
now Christmas is gonna be, guys, I'm already calling it. Christmas is gonna be freaking bonkers
because we'll have Hallmark, the new one, and then Lifetime does their own
and Lifetime
thing
and Netflix. Netflix is stepping up their holiday game. They have their big. I think one of their prizes this year is a Christmas movie with Lindsay Lohan's first movie in like a decade or something crazy like that. So yeah,
Freaky Christmas.
It's gonna be a crazy holiday season.
The Parent Trap Christmas.
Yes, but you can always count
on Mean Girls Christmas.
That's kind of. Let me get through this, guys. You can always count on Alex and
Dick's
Sonny,
Christmas Carol,
who has a solid history with Hallmark. It's gonna be a wonderful movie. She has incredible co-stars, which I just said. So yes, go watch that.
Perfect.
Next up, Tanner Stein has been cast as the lead in Spin the Bottle, opposite Justin Long and Ali Larter. The film's plot centers on a group of teenagers in a small Texas town who decide to hang out in the abandoned house where a gruesome massacre once occurred, and they end up unleashing a deadly force upon the town. Okay.
That's a good picture.
Wasn't Ali Larter the girl that tried to take Beyonce's man in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and Justin solid. So yeah, so go see that movie if that's your cup of tea. It's not really mine, but yeah, but I like Tanner. So
I'm like Araceli, go see it if that's your thing. I don't care.
Well, go support Tanner. He did a great job as Joey in Beyond Salem. So yes,
and he's gonna be back on Days soon, right?
Yes,
Tanner.
Yes.
We did see him in the
children's
preview. Yeah,
and that was news and gossip.
Well, that has been news and gossip. That has been news and gossip. I thought that was going to break. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to find out what's coming up next week on Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives.
Get your hands off me.
They know who.
Clyde murdered Abigail Demera.
Now.
I want to know why. Why did you do it? Why?
And one loss.
I miss you every second of every day.
Could lead.
Jennifer is taking painkillers again. Oh no.
To another. Days of Our Lives, streaming now on Peacock.
Ooh.
Now I have more questions.
Doozy.
Yeah.
Well, so does Chad. Why? So we're like Chad. Why?
Yep.
Why?
Yep. And if you notice, guys, I think this is the theme that's going to be happening now with Peacock as an alternative to NBC. The promos are longer now.
We got 30 seconds instead of 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
the show looks lit a little better too this week in the promo. Looks lit a little, like a little more softer, not as harsh.
And this is no shade, but I just read that the news program that they put in place of Days on NBC.
Womp womp. Here's the thing: the ratings are probably shit. The ratings are probably shit, but NBC is probably making. It's probably more profitable for NBC, even with the lower ratings, because the cost of that program is probably compared to Days like zero. So, don't feel bad for NBC.
Don't cry for NBC.
Please tell me you know that one, Michael Mattis.
Of course.
Madonna was in it.
Of course. You know what? Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that for a minute. That is a Disney film, and I am in a household with two grown adults.
No.
Yes,
the song was running on Kiss FM for months.
I don't listen to Kiss FM. I am a Coast 103.5
everywhere.
person.
Billboard.
It was not on Coast. It was not on Coast. No, it was not. It was not on Coast 103.5.
Yes, it was.
I didn't hear it.
Yes, it was. It was for months. It was on everything for months. No excuse.
Okay, show me. Go back and show me.
This town.
Go back and show me.
If
when
you
it
were
played
Amish, I would give you a pass.
Also, so I'm a Coast 103.5 fan. Also, I only listen to it at most, well, actually during COVID, I barely listened to it because I'm a car radio person. I was barely in the car.
Well, let's continue this conversation later because we don't talk about Bruno on Dishin Days. No.
Tell us your thoughts. Actually, don't. I don't care.
I was going to say you would not like the thoughts.
So listen, y'all.
Y'all can have your thoughts. Love that for you.
Jade, that has been Dishin Days for this week. Make sure you head on over to the Days of Our Lives official YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Before we head out, though, Michael Mattis, where can they find you on the social media? I can tell you what.
You can't find me anywhere. I'm nowhere. I'm going dark after this.
I beg your pardon?
I'm going off the grid. I'm going dark off the grid.
That might be smart.
Damn. Where can they find you, Michael Mattis?
On Instagram and Twitter at MLMattis.
Araceli, what is the one social media platform you have chosen to stay in contact with the people?
You can find me on Twitter at Tia3223Araceli, where I have contact with lots of people, with lots of children who are going to be outraged.
Over Bruno. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find all of us on all of our social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. And you can find me talking about Bruno on all social media platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, at Lounging with Tony. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back next week for another full dish of Peacock's exclusive, award-winning, #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I've been your host, Tony Moore, along with my gaggle of gals, Michael and Araceli, who are still arguing about Bruno. Until next week.
The argument's done. It's fine. Bye.
Bye, everybody.